Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and we're back with another Warcast. I'm joined by Alex the Rambler and Warrior of Sparta, and our guest this month is Malakith Skadi.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Hello.
Is this April's edition?
This is Warcast number 9, technically, not including extras.
We thought about this concept of Warcasts back in March last year, didn't we?
It was after Res.
Oh, was it
I
Res?
remember running after you guys because I've got short legs and you guys were walking fast. And I was like, guys, let's do a podcast. And you guys were like, we were thinking of doing a podcast. I was like, let's combine forces. And then we got out our Mighty Morphin Power Ranger power coins and had a jump high five freeze frame. It was
I'm the
amazing.
Green Ranger.
Cross penises.
Red Ranger.
Cross penises.
Clearly Red Ranger. And penises. This month,
as Alex pulls out a banana.
There we go, standard. Oh, beautiful, I've missed this. Anyway, there's been a fair few things in the Total War Warhammer announcement stuff, so we're going to talk about the Chaos Battle, Bretonnia as Day 1 playable in custom battles and multiplayer, and I have no idea what Rambler's doing with that banana right now, but he'll show you his skills later. We talk about sieges and layouts. We're going to also talk about the fact that there's no representation of unwalled cities and towns on battle maps if you get attacked. We're going to talk about magic in Warhammer in general. Also going to talk about a post I saw on Reddit the other night, which is about Denuvo, which is kind of DRM on top of the existing DRM, which is Steam for Total War games since Empire Total War. So that will be present in Warhammer and what that means, and clarify a little bit. There's not been an official statement from CA yet because they're all away at PAX and it's the weekend, so we might see something this week. By the time this video is out, they may have clarified anyway. And then probably talk about our launch day plans because it's, again, by the time this goes out, less than a month to go until Warhammer's out. In fact, if they kept the original release date, it would be out already.
In fact, it would.
Would it? Well, no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It would be Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, it would be when the time this comes out.
Actually, yeah, by the time this video comes out, it was out yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, we've got our channel of the month, which is TotalWarZone, but we'll talk about him and what he's done later. So,
we said hello to Malakith, have we? We said hello to Mal, have we?
Yeah, we said a brief hello.
Yeah, hi,
but,
Mal.
Mal, who are you briefly for those that have no clue?
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell am I? Okay, so my channel name is Malakith Skadi, and I generally do Total War and other strategy games, but I do branch out occasionally. Been playing with these guys for.
What's the most you've ever branched out? Like how far do you branch?
It started out with Mount and Blade, so that's third person / first person sort of large team combat. I tend to stick to team games if I'm going to go outside of strategy, really.
Sweet.
Didn't you do Rocket League? That's pretty out of the.
Oh yeah, Rocket League's.
Yeah.
But Rocket League's like a sort of a minor side crack addiction kind of thing. You just can't get enough of Rocket League.
What's the team name you guys have?
There was Team Shameful Display.
Shameful
which was
Display.
me, Mr. Smart Donkey, and Cucumber.
Beautiful. Awesome. Right. Well,
Do this.
Chaos Battle. Darren was up against the Chaos AI. He was playing as Empire. Was there like some kind of weird chaos spike thing growing out of the ground? It was in a wintry Norska setting. What do we think?
It got wrecked.
Are we assuming that giant chaos spike thing is one of the Winds of Magic foci that boosts all the magic in the area, or are we just thinking it was there for prettiness?
The gold pillar?
Yeah.
Well, it was a landmark, wasn't it? He was trying to make out as a landmark, wasn't it? So
it may well have been because it's the Pillar of Bone, isn't it, down in the Badlands that you've got. I mean, it could be. I mean, any Warhammer lore peeps that know their stuff, let us know.
But let's talk about Chaos. I mean, Chaos were there. That was the first real battle we saw of Chaos, wasn't it? And what they were all about.
Cool.
Flaming hooves.
Are they too OP? You know what? I mean, was it a well played battle, or was it the AI getting better?
I've said this to Warrior, but can I get a consensus on this? Whether it's
got
a bit of the Hell Cannon. Does it look like a penis with balls at the end? Because it looks like it's got weird organic matter at the end, and I was like, maybe this is just a bit of a dirty mind, but it does look like a penis. Like it's got some weird organic balls.
Spurs out flaming balls of love.
It comes complete with Chaos Dwarf Masseuse. Just to operate,
and screams as it fires out, doesn't it?
Yep.
And no added cost.
Okay, so there's penis cannons, and it was Chaos Dwarves we saw there, so kind of little different race within the kind of Chaos Warriors pool. Yeah, lots of effects for them. It's all of you had the like they're like were they like Norscan brigands or something like that with the kind of like evil men sort of thing, and then you had the actual Chaos Warriors in like their full plate armor and they look badass. And
well, they're saying that all of those units will be included in the main game, like they're all the units shown in that battle.
Yeah,
would all be in the base game that you could play against.
Yeah, that was like
that's
a non DLC roster from Chaos, as far as I understand it. So
you could play against them.
You can play exactly that same battle against all those same units, even if you don't pre-order. If you do pre-order, then there'll be those units and some more, because they've expanded that. And on the Total War wiki, it's got like asterisks next to which units are specifically kind of attached to the pre-order DLC for that, which I assume will probably be available as regular DLC come launch day, like the Viking Forefathers were.
An interesting point I noticed was within the game, so within the video, and people say in the comments and things like that about it, was the variation of some of the units in terms of like it was a standard sort of Empire unit and then an Empire unit of the same sort of build, but then it had a great sword as well, so they have that variant in them. And I was wondering if that would be something you upgrade on the campaign like you did in Medieval 2, or just be two variants of it, and that was something.
The great swords are their own separate elite unit. They're not an upgrade of a stand. I mean,
there was one. I think there was. It's like the Grave Guard Knight. The Grave Guards. They've got two, haven't they? They've got the Grave Guard.
Yeah, you've got great weapons variants of various troops. So like the dwarves have hammerers or is it Longbeards, and then they have Longbeards with great weapons or something like that. There's that kind of differentiate, but they're separate units, so it's not like an upgrade that you get, which I mean, maybe that's something they could have done, but obviously they probably, I guess, for balancing, it's easier to do it as a separate unit type, or completely on its own. But we saw lots of like spells going off in that as well, and was there like the fireballs and everything going off? And
it's incredible. Yeah, the Empire's artillery firing is an impressive sight. It really was. But
he didn't shoot any of his own men with his rocket.
No. What do you think of the AI though?
Well, it beat him.
They did some flanky stuff, didn't they?
There was
Did they do some flanky stuff?
There's a bit of weirdness with there was some axe units underneath the giant pillar in the middle that looked like they were trying to kind of on foot chase his Griffin Knights, which was a bit odd. But given that most of the army was engaging it, he may have just been screening something.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like it pushed forward. I mean, there was a fair bit of criticism that they didn't think Darren played that well in that battle. A lot of it was him, trying to get the shots and the angles and zoom in at appropriate moments and show off the game more than actually kind of play it. Which is always hard to balance. We all know that. But
yes, indeed.
I mean, it wasn't any worse, was it? Does anyone think it was any worse than what we've seen before? I mean, at least the AI is at least staying to the level of where it was previously.
Did he say what difficulty he was playing on?
He didn't, but I know it was larger armies. Larger armies was ticked because he had more than 20 stack. There's definitely large armies in it.
I suppose the one area of AI that you'd really be interested in is how it uses spells, because they've never had to do that before, and it seemed to get that do it quite well. That first initial hit along his front line was devastating, and after that, it wasn't insignificant.
Yeah, it's
not like it was just throwing it at the first unit it came across.
It doesn't seem shy about throwing in a couple of vortex spells, even if they miscast and take out some of their own units. So it's interesting to see that kind of, I guess, the AI logic there working to like press the attack order, but now I've got this extra order on top, which is, do I use magic? Yes, no, yes. Okay, fire this spell, vortex, on this weak point, or can it exploit? Because you can exploit flanks quite nicely with like a vortex spell, because you can just tear out. I think there's spells that like create a net that actually pin troops in place. So if you had a couple of spellcasters all at once, you could pin them with one. If you had enough magic as well, like Paul, you could pin them in one place and then throw a vortex on top of them. That'd be a really cool like combo to throw down. So I mean, if the AI, it seems like it's pretty reasonable at exploiting the player in terms of laying down magic where it's going to do the most damage. So it's definitely handling magic. You know, it's using magic. It's not like you go into a battle and say, "Oh, the AI never uses magic." In all the battles we've seen so far, it's used it in some form or another. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you've
definitely seen that.
So many Curse of the Bad Moons on Thundering Falls when I played that that demo.
Well, of course, I mean the ones we played against and the quest battles, the Amulet Sea of Gold, and that was. You could see the magic was being used on that one, couldn't you? When you played that one, Lionheart as well. So
yeah, there was some hexes going down from the vampire counts and stuff, and
that is the one thing I'm concerned about, is that most of the shows of Magic have been on scripted battles, and they've said that for quest battles they do have their own AI layout to some extent. So I wonder if it'll be any different in just a generic open field battle, or whether it handles it the same.
Yeah, I mean, was that Chaos Battle a quest battle, or was it just like a custom one?
Custom battle.
So I mean, it used it there, so it's capable of doing it in its own setup. So that seems pretty reasonable. But
I'm just gonna shut my window. Birds won't shut up.
Don't worry about Chaos, guys. Birds are the real enemy. The real trouble.
Alfred Hitchcock said so.
And children are out there too, playing around in the grass.
You sound about 60, Rambler.
Yeah, but we're all children and animals, says Alex.
My gun.
Is that a thing in I don't know what the gun laws are in Canada.
You can hunt
children.
Well, let's make it a sport. No, I
thought you were mine your way.
Who wants to be deported?
Yeah, I was going to say it's another country the Warcast can't visit, but Rambler's already there, so.
I've been honing my archery skills this morning, so yeah, I'm all good to go with the hunt. The Hunger Games begin.
Children of Canada, run.
Is it 1:30 there now? Is it 1:30 in Canada?
It is, yeah, 1:30 p.m.
It's lovely. Yeah. It's bloody dark here.
It's 9:30 in the evening. Oh.
Right. So I mean, Chaos. They're going to be a Horde type faction. I mean, any of you guys interested in actually like trying them out, playing them?
It's a new mechanic, isn't it? Definitely give it a go. Why not? It's offering something different. Yeah, but it's a new mechanic for Warhammer, isn't it? From the standard 4 factions you're going to be having.
Yeah.
From the usual. So the Chaos, the Greenskins, etc. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what they can offer. I'm sure there's something they haven't told us about in terms of what Chaos will be like on the campaign.
Well, they seem to be hinting at some kind of like Chaos event at some point in your campaign. They will appear. It's kind of like the Chaos seems to be like the realm divide feature of Warhammer in some respect, but it almost seems like there might be stages of that, or they haven't been specific about how Chaos is going to affect your world.
We've seen Chaos corruption, haven't we? But
would it be a bit like the Mongol invasion and then the Timurid invasion from Medieval 2?
Potentially, yeah. Possibly. You might have like multi-tiered ones or something like that. But it does seem like a lot of the discussion I've seen in like the lore is that Chaos nearly wipes out everyone, right? That's the thing.
Well, the world kind of blew up and you had Age of Sigmar, but we won't go into that bit.
Yeah, that didn't happen yet. That didn't happen.
Well, we're skipping that.
We're all fine.
Age of Sigmar sucks.
My concern with them is that they probably want to try and keep that big Chaos event relevant, even if you're playing as Chaos. So they may hamper your strength initially until that kicks off. So you
won't be able to start the roll until that point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if sort of the first, I don't know, I'll pick a number out of thin air, 50 turns, you're kind of weak and just trying to survive, and then that event kicks in, and then suddenly you've got these extra armies and a momentum, and off you go.
It's kind of like in Third Age, there's a script which stops you getting your most powerful troops until at least turn 60, and it actually unlocks a separate building chain. So until then, you literally have like basic levy troops, and so you can't get any proper like Gondorian swordsmen with their proper. You just get Gondor militia, and then suddenly turn 60, boom, Gondor swordsmen, everything. They're all coming in, and they all look in their proper armor from like the movies and stuff. And yeah, I mean,
based on the way the hordes work in Attila, they may just even be able to limit you purely because you can't expand your buildings fast enough to get your economy up to balloon in any real sense.
I wonder what sort of
until that event triggers.
Chaos has though, because I mean, obviously in like Attila, hordes would just turn into a little camp, a city. But surely Chaos doesn't go, oh, time to set up the tavern.
Well, they can set up an altar to the gods and pray around it for a bit, I guess.
I mean,
but,
maybe it's
you know,
time to sacrifice some, people to the blood god.
the blood god.
I don't know what is the major source of income for Chaos? Is it
Blood?
Because for vampire counts, on the demo that we got to play, the 30-turn campaign, it was sorcery or something like that, or dark sorcery, or
Dark
something?
magic, I think.
Dark magic.
Was your money, wasn't it, to spend on
your
upgrades and
currency.
units? So maybe it'll be something like that. So maybe it's like just, I don't know, chaos power,
Chaos dollars. Yeah.
chaos dollar equals 2.5 US dollars. It's a really good exchange rate.
Did you play for a campaign when you were able to record that footage?
That was the same build.
The Vampire Counts kind of a preview event that we got access to was a restricted 30-turn campaign. So it was like the first 30 turns.
With 2 quest battles.
Yeah. So from that, obviously, I did like the Siege of Templehof, things like that, and Warrior did the dwarf siege against the dwarves and
Zufbar.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was dark magic or something like that, which is interesting to see because you can't really sort of. Although I mean, there's got to be some fantastic infrastructure behind that between the exchange rate. I mean, that's 5 gold coins to 1 dark magic or something like that. Cross race exchange rates. I mean, that's something to invest in, surely. Like
I'll trade you 5 peasant souls for that bag of gold coins.
Done.
Yeah. Surely it must be normal currency for the Empire. They must have a gold currency system.
I would assume
right.
so. What do they? Who?
Dwarves?
Did anyone know?
I'd imagine the dwarves have money.
They surely offer like gold. Surely they got a mine.
The orcs. So what the? I'm gonna say what the f. What the flip? What orcs have?
Flesh, skin.
Well, they still want loot and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they like shiny stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that little goblin going,
pillage.
Right. Yeah.
I want the spoils, boss. Give us the shinies. Yeah. That's how I imagine it. But chaos. Anything else about chaos or
Bit chaotic. Really,
chaotic?
There was quite a few people complaining about the Chosen a bit in the. I think it was in the Reddit.
Never Chosen.
Because no, that one of the units is called the Chosen, and in the board game, I think I might be correct. It might have changed since I played it, but at the start of the battle, you would roll. I think you rolled a dice, and a random effect would occur. Like they may get extra spikes for melee bonus, or one of them might suddenly burst into being a lesser demon, or some random thing would happen because they were the Chosen of Chaos, and Chaos would do something like weird and wonderful to them. And from looking in that, they didn't really look much different to the Chaos Warriors, except maybe a bit more flame and a few more spikes. I think they were complaining that they wouldn't necessarily want quite that much randomness because you're trying to make it balanced, but just something or some way of representing that they're different.
Is it a general rule of thumb with Chaos that the more spikes you have, the more badass you are?
Yeah.
The more chance of poking your eye out, the more badass you are. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I want some
With a hand
spikes.
cannon. With a penis cannon.
It's seriously like, please, someone comment saying it's not just me that I got some just dirty warped mine. It just looked like a penis. I'm normally not the first person to point this out. To be fair, I was waiting for Rambler to say it. To be fair.
Yeah.
What? Penis cannon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm off my game today, it seems.
Distracted by that banana.
You should eat more bananas, mate.
Oh, man, I ate that banana right up. Gobble, gobble.
And back on point. So... Warcast. Bretonnia, then. Shall we go on to that while Rambler...
Free
Gobble,
DLC,
gobble.
kind of. Oh, wait, no, it's just custom. It's not free DLC. They're just unlocking the faction in custom battles and multiplayer games.
Well,
Yeah.
Lionheart, you take it away with this one because obviously you've had first hand with them at that battle.
Yeah, don't leave your Pegasus Knights.
No.
While a Terrorgeist and a Hex and Fellbats all get thrown on you at the same time because they just
Combo.
drop out the sky like pigeons.
What a combo.
Great combo. I mean, stuff like that. It's just like you want to play the battle again and like see what you can do differently. But yeah, so the announcement's been that Bretonnia will be from day one, from launch, playable in custom and multiplayer battles, but it won't be in campaign yet. Now that's obviously sparked a lot of rift within the community. Some are like, yay, Bretonnia's in, that's awesome, in some form. Some are saying, well, if it's in custom multiplayer battles, why isn't it in the campaign map? Well, I would have thought the argument is that just because the units are ready doesn't mean the building infrastructure, the legendary laws, the quests, and all the other stuff that goes into actually putting it then on the campaign map is ready. And then obviously some people say, well, isn't that like cut content that they're holding back? I was like, no, it's just kind of extra content that they're putting in. I mean, we've already had that explanation in the blog post for Chaos, and whether you like what they've done with Chaos or not, the kind of brief explanation was that they had the budget for 4 factions: Empire, Vampire Counts, Greenskins, and Dwarves. They wanted to include Chaos, so they went to Sega, their publisher, said, we want to include it, but we need more budget. So it seems like from that it came back and they said, we'll give you the budget for it as a pre-order bonus, so that has its own separate budget. So that's why it's not part of the base game, it's its own separate budget. So I would assume, likewise, if they want to include Bretonnia, they've been given pre-order budget, they've been given budget for the base game. To then make Bretonnia into the campaign, that would require extra budget post-launch, basically, or post-launch work, which is already being done or being polished, now ready to release in May. So that's the explanation that I would have thought is the route they're going with. Plus, they released their whole blog about their free LC and DLC plans for the year, and they said towards the end of the year there will be a free LC race introduced, and I would think it seems they've also said in a statement that they don't plan on introducing Bretonnia to the campaign as a playable race on the campaign map as paid DLC. I would have thought with all the hints that they've dropped and stuff, it looks highly likely that by the end of the year Bretonnia will be that free LC race. So basically, until now and then, they need to actually finish Bretonnia. It's not done yet. It might be on the campaign map as an AI faction, but not all the stuff in there to actually make it playable and interesting as a playable faction is there.
As in the technology trees and things like that, and
quests and
quests and
the unique
and Legend Lords quests. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, the alternative is they delay until they've got it finished, and then everyone sits there going, "Oh, why is my game not done yet?"
But then they never promised us Bretonnia, did they? They said 4 races and then Chaos, and that's kind of what they've gone forward with.
I think maybe that they've got all of the units that they're going to put in anyway, so maybe they just decided to give it away as a freebie.
Yeah.
What was the roster like, Lionheart?
It is quite basic. Like you pretty much saw, I think
Yeomans.
You saw.
They're not the most varied faction in the tabletop to begin with.
No. I think some people said they had a few more knights than were available, but that's about it. I mean, I would have thought that if Bretonnia is that free LC race, which obviously we don't know, we're just speculating, but I would have thought that it is highly likely that Bretonnia is that free LC race to come out at the end of the year as their part of their free LC plan. That they will have probably a couple of extra units then added in anyway as kind of a boost to that faction. I mean, by that point, it'll have been, if it's by the end of the year, it'll have been out for 6 months or so.
7 months,
they may well have thought, actually, we need to balance it this way or give them a few extra units here and there. Or they might have had some other ideas about it. So, that, within the design process, let's make some extra units and throw it into that free LC update because we've already got the stuff ready for that.
Did they feel bad? Did they feel bad? Did they feel underpowered? Did they feel...
Well, I mean, I had I think 4 or 5 units of peasant archers. So they were my basic missile. I had 1 unit of mounted yeoman archers. So they were my missile cav. I had Grail Knights and Knights of the Realm, with 2 units of cavalry, kind of shock cavalry with lancers. And then I had trebuchets, men at arms, and then men at arms with pole arms, or there were, I don't know if they were slightly damsel and a paladin. I think that's everything I had. So
and then Leonka. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they have specific kind of dismounted foot knights or anything like that.
They have men at arms, which are they have men at arms, and I'm sure you can get a dismounted knight, but I think he used to just lead a unit of men at arms. I mean, it's been a long time since I played Bretonnia.
It kind of felt like they were in terms of balancing, but again with Warhammer, with the diversity between the races, it kind of feels like some races will lack. I mean, like Vampire Counts, they have no missile troops. So
no artillery.
It kind of feels like on purpose you're not going to get a DLC which will add missile troops in. That specifically you're going to have to play differently with them. So I mean, with Bretonnia, I might say it would be great to have a couple of specific sword units, but maybe that's...
the other thing they're missing is you've got to have the whole of the building tree and the whole of the research tree, and then those have got to be balanced in with everybody else to be at least
get it right.
vaguely equivalent for the campaign stuff. You don't have to do that for the multiplayer battle.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that we know, well, probably, is that Total War Warhammer is probably going to receive the most post-release support of any Total War game to date. If they're planning multiple, I imagine they're planning lots of DLC, and the other two main kind of expansions, which are going to add in a lot of the other races. So there's going to be years of support for Total War Warhammer. So I think that's something that they'll be able to add in different balances and stuff throughout the development cycle of the game. It's probably going to be a bit like, I guess, Crusader Kings 2, because that's even being updated nowadays, and they've added in different portions of the map and things like that. So I reckon it's going to receive, hopefully, as much support as a game like Crusader Kings 2 does.
Yeah, they've got that
sort of named
longevity with
updates.
their plan. Yeah,
themed updates as well. I know what you mean about that. Yeah, but do you feel that Bretonnia is the most feudal faction there is going to be there? You know, the most.
Yeah, they're by
yeah.
100% the most feudal faction.
It's
more so than the Empire. So,
it's feudal France in a nutshell, with a splash of Arthurian legend thrown in.
The Grail,
for good measure. Lady of the Lake.
Does a faction like Kislev still have artillery and things like that?
They were a minor faction in the board game. I think I'm not sure they may have got expanded out, but I don't think.
Border Princes?
Don't think
Again,
they
were.
Yeah, they're kind of minor.
Oh, okay.
So
but Bretonnia is kind of like a main.
Bretonnia was a main faction. They board starter set that I got was Bretonnia Lizardmen. So they came in as a faction. They kind of got. They didn't get a new army book in the latest one before it went to Age of Sigmar, so they're not what would be listed as one of the
Didn't they get discontinued, the actual pieces?
Yeah.
So I always thought they looked cool as a kid. I thought Bretonnia looked cool.
Can I say something very quickly, which this may be ridiculous, and I just thought about it recently. I thought it probably won't, but just put it out there. You know, World of Warcraft coming out, the film World of Warcraft coming, isn't it? If that does well, do you think that may help sales of Warhammer?
It might get people more interested in a fantasy.
You know what I mean? I thought about that today. I thought, because it's quite a hyped film. And I looked at it today. I thought, there's orcs in it. There's the whole flipping lot. You've got.
Are they orcs
in
World of Warcraft with a K or a C though?
I don't know, but it's just that theme. You know what I mean? That theme of it. Oh god, yeah, getting to that level.
And dwarves, is it F or VS?
Yeah. You know what I mean? That theme and that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
I mean, I would have thought that if there's a big fantasy movie, okay, I mean, obviously completely different, realms and what have you. But if there's a big fantasy movie and then you have this game which is embodying huge fantasy type battles, I mean, for just it bringing in new players, I would have thought that Warhammer is going to bring in a lot more, just general from younger, older, fans of tabletop. It may not, obviously we've seen that the community's been quite vocal. A lot of the vocal community have sort of said they don't like it because they want the hardcore history stuff. They want the historical eras. But I think at the same time you've probably got a wealth of almost untapped players that would be highly there must be. I mean, marketing wise, to make this whole thing happen, to make Total Warhammer happen, the marketing must have been there and the research must have been there to go, do players want to see a fantasy type Total War game? Yes.
There were plenty of threads of people going, I've never played a Total War game before, but Total War Warhammer looks really interesting. So there must be a market
dragons,
there.
I mean, it's
that Lord of the Rings sort of feel as well. People liking that. Maybe, I don't know. It's all that sort of fantasy realm, isn't it? Which is a very popular theme, isn't it? So,
I mean, I can understand where people who really want the historical stuff are coming from, but as long as they don't sort of do back-to-back Warhammer for the next 5 years and never put a historical title in, varying it up a bit, it should make it nice.
Never hurts.
They have separate teams working on separate projects.
Yeah,
so
it's getting big. It's getting huge, isn't it? CA's getting big, so
yeah,
they're employing all the time. Even Arena's growing. They've employed new Arena people so far. So
just like that, do you reckon we'll see the next historical title before or after the second Warhammer game?
Before.
I reckon after the second, but before the third.
Yeah, I reckon in between that second and third. Because I reckon they're going to take a long development cycle now with that one. Well, because the way that, isn't it like Rome 2's team went on to Warhammer and then there was like a team that was something else came together to do Attila or something. I think.
And Attila have gone to the next historical one.
I would assume so. Don't work at CA, so no idea how their actual internals work. But I think
CA.
No. So I think I remember like either talking to some of the devs at some point or reading somewhere that's how the teams kind of jumped. I think the Rome 2 team jumped to Warhammer and the Attila team was something else, and that's jumped to the next historical game. Or maybe it's the other way around, but that's kind of roughly how it's going.
Even within that, they're going to have some people that move between even those teams just because they're so specialist.
Like,
you know, I should think like the AI programmers and things will hop into every game.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Simon Mann, he's always in a lot of them, isn't he? He's one of the battle designers, isn't he, Simon Mann?
He's battle designer for Warhammer, yeah.
Yeah, but he was in Attila, wasn't he? He did a lot with Attila. Yeah. Was he in Rome 2 as well? I think he did a bit for that. But
well, I mean, obviously, I think one of the biggest things, like, even if we see things in Warhammer that we don't like, I hope that the things that we do see and do like, the changes that are right, that will work across the whole series going forward, I hope those are the changes that get taken across into the next historical title. Like, this is such an opportunity for them to be really creative and really go think out of the box and go crazy with stuff. I hope that the stuff that they actually kind of create from that's actually really good and potentially stuff they wouldn't think about doing before because they were almost potentially feeling restricted by historical accuracy or by a specific historical theme might actually go, oh wait, that makes really good sense if we include that in our next historical title, because we've had the freedom to explore that within a no holds bar fantasy setting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it in a bit about the restrictions, things like that, what we've seen, but I just hope that by saying that, they're giving us more in certain areas and not taking it away from other parts. So we're getting a new feature, a new nice polished thing in some way, but then we're getting stripped of something else in another part, which we know and love about Total War, which is something I don't want to see too much of. You know, I want them to be adding instead of just stripping back to add more. We've
almost revisited Medieval 2 with the combat system. I mean, I feel like it's literally like Medieval 2. With the health system almost, and the fact that the combat isn't the matched animations anymore. You know, they're swinging at each other, which I actually don't mind as much as I thought I would, because I loved like zooming in and seeing them like do all their set piece animations. But it still looks really good with the swings and stuff they've got in there. But that combat, you know, you have those dedicated lines now forming up on a battlefield. You don't have necessarily the blobs. And for the most part, I mean, playing that Bretonnia battle, the charge against the Black Knights I had, the cavalry charge there, I don't know if that impact didn't seem to go off as much. They kind of hit each other and went, rather than with some of the infantry, they've gone slamming in the cavalry and they've sent them flying. And cavalry impacts, for like, I would say like 80% of the time that I've seen them in like the footage and stuff, and when we've got hands-on, cavalry charges look really impressive. They really smash through and send things flying. The cavalry impact looks like they've really worked on that. So...
Okay. The cavalry impact always looks good when it's cavalry charging something that's stationary. When there's two cavalry charging each other, it seems to fall a bit.
As I said,
I'm not sure what they would do with it. I mean, what would you do? You'd have the unhorsed guys go flying backwards, but if nobody's died, then it's just two units slamming into each other. I mean, I guess they'd ride past, turn around and come back, but then you're getting flanked from the wrong side.
I would have thought with a cavalry charge, you'd be more likely to like lance the cavalry of the front line of each rank and see the guy unhorsed, basically.
Well, you'd come into a point where it'd be a literal lock-in, wouldn't it? Where you'd be
I would have thought so. With cavalry on cavalry, it's more of a lock-in rather than a smash and fly, which you see with infantry.
But one thing I did notice, those Grail Knights didn't seem powerful enough, I'd say.
I agree with you on that one, Malakith. Yeah,
could be that I didn't use them right. No. To be fair,
I mean, I didn't. I know what you mean there, Mal.
As far as I'm aware, the unit size was the same as your other type of knight.
Yeah,
and I mean, in the lore, the Grail Knights, they're sort of the best of the best. They've gone and drunk from the Grail. They're meant to be reasonably rare. So to have them as the same unit size, I don't know, it might have just been a bit better representation if they were a smaller unit size but beefed up stats, so they had the equivalent.
Would you have thought they'd be better being the same as like Demigryph Knights, because they're only 24 men to a unit on, I think, ultra unit size, whereas like the other cavalry unit, like Reichsguard, are like 60?
Yeah, probably. But the problem is they look the same. You know, they're just guys on a horse. They're not riding amazing Demigryphs or anything fancy looking.
Flamier lance.
Yeah.
You say the Grail, the drank from the Grail. Well, to what extent is this we're talking about in Warhammer?
They chose wisely.
Is Christ,
the lady appears to them, and if they prove themselves worthy, and then they sip from the Grail, and then they're a Grail Knight.
Is the Grail represented to Christ in it, or what?
No.
No.
Arthurian
how
legend,
far
isn't
we
it?
going deep in here? Right? Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Lady of the Late Grail and all that, isn't it?
Okay. Not like a Bob. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So Bretonnia in at day one.
Shit.
Custom battles and multiplayer, and seemingly highly hinted at being that free LC race, which will be out at the end of the year.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not, I mean, let us know down in the comment section or on our Twitter and Facebook pages, which faction or race you think that free LC race could be if it's not Bretonnia.
Quick one about Facebook and Twitter. We're going to be doing more of that, aren't we? And Rambler's going to be taking that on.
Assuming control, yes. We do have our own Twitter and Facebook pages for the Warcast, which will be in the description of all of our videos. Yes. So go and check it out. I'll try and remember to actually go on there and talk and
just
do
to try and shape that discussion a bit.
Yeah.
Remember, the faction has to be within the old world boundaries because they've still got 2 other games to tack things on with yet.
That guy knows his stuff.
Also, don't go saying lizardmen.
Also, podcast-wise, we're fully updated on SoundCloud and iTunes, so you can find that in the description as well. If you
listen to it when you're going to work.
If you prefer not to see Rambler's face, then you can just listen to it.
Oh,
come on!
I can listen to it at work. Excellent.
And the banana munching.
You can listen to me all the time and listen to me eat a banana.
That should be the selling point. Listen to Rambler eat a banana.
Right. Is it ASMR? Right. Those videos where people just listen to weird sounds.
Oh yeah, I've never understood that. Isn't it like people whispering and stuff and like
yeah, you can have Rambler eating a banana.
Have you seen what's it recently? Bloody hell, what's his name? He did a video where he stared at the banana for 5 minutes.
What?
You watch some strange stuff, Warrior.
No, the big YouTuber. He's got a really good voice. He's gone completely. Markiplier. Markiplier. He did a video of staring at a banana for 5 minutes.
Why?
It went viral.
Why?
Because
and
money.
Said nothing.
If you can make money staring at a banana for 5 minutes, who's not going to do that?
I'm going to stare at this beer bottle for 5 minutes.
You got to read that and do. And he does like expressions like, oh, and then he thinks about something and he's like, oh, and he analyzes the tip of the banana.
Oh, and he but anyway.
It like, don't worry about it.
What? That doesn't sound like the same video anymore. Right. Let's sieges and layouts. Warrior, take it away.
What?
It was your suggested one.
Siege and layouts. Yeah.
You're not a fan, are you? You're not a fan.
Start with the complaint. Go on.
Come on.
You don't like the one-walled siege attack? Well, in some cases, that Bretonnian siege had 2 walls in like that.
No, I didn't know it to the extent of what it was until I've seen it more so. And the fact that when I did my Zufbar siege and then we had the outdoors siege and the same layouts, and the fact that it's a very flat map, very, very even terrain. It doesn't give too much strategic play in that aspect, I didn't feel. You're attacking from one wall. It's going to be very, very the case of, it's easy to... It becomes very repetitive in that aspect. And it's so annoying because you look at this big expanse of these cities and there's different terrains. Oh, that'd be great to defend that keep, or be excellent to try and get over that bridge and go up the hill there. Not accessible. You're going to have one flat area, and these sort of layouts are going to be very similar across the cities, and even to attack maybe at some points 2 walls at best. I think is very, very linear in some ways, and maybe it'd be great, but I don't know. I'm not convinced at the moment.
It's very different. I mean, Attila and every single Total War before, we had the full encirclement of the city. I was saying to you the other day, when I was at CA last, I actually spoke to Simon Mann, the battle designer, and said I don't like sieges as they are. I liked being able to choose where I was going to attack. I liked enveloping from all angles. They've tried something different. Is it going to be fun after multiple sieges? I don't know. I've played 2 or 3 sieges. I've defended one as Bretonnia, and I've assaulted one with the vampire counts in the videos that I've released so far, and both of those were fun. The fight for me, and I've said it to Warrior so many times when I've chatted to him lately, for me it seems very much like a function over form choice. That, you know, they want to make the AI better defending or assaulting. I was at EGX Res and they had a presentation on the AI in sieges specifically, and they talked about various kind of holding points about when the AI is attacking, there'll be designated certain attack groups. So there'll be like 3 units assigned to the siege tower, like attack group, because then they'll be ready to put ladders either side and use the siege tower. They'll be spare, and then they'll be drawn back to a reserve pool, and then they'll be sent to the battering ram group. So it looks like it's full on attack, which seems fine, but defense wise, it seems like the form, the intricate city winding streets, or, you know, from the trailers we saw what the dwarves defending along a thin bridge, a dwarven carrack or something like that, which looked awesome. There doesn't seem like there's any settlements that have that representation. It seems very much this one wall or 2 corner walls or something similar to that approach, which it seems like it's giving the AI its best chance to perform, to keep you busy and tied up on the walls, which hopefully means you have a tough siege experience, considering those towers fire out, was it unlimited range?
Yeah, they can hit the whole start point.
They can knock them the start,
so
you can't
that forces you to
back.
attack. There is no bombardment phase, which you saw with the encirclement type sieges of past Total War. So again, it's a very different siege direction. I mean, for me, honestly, as I said to Simon Man, the battles I don't like them, but quite honestly, you know, I'm on the fence because I need to play more of them to see if after 20, 30, 40 sieges, do they hold up? Are they still fun? Are they still engaging? You know, as much as those encirclement sieges were, or are they dull? I've said my bit.
My concern is we probably haven't seen enough cities. I mean, I want to believe there's more layouts, just because I hope there is, but at the same time, these complaints have been vocal enough that if there were, I would have expected someone to go out of their way to show them.
Especially Altdorf was shown, and that was just a single wall.
The same as Kazakhstan or
as a Zufbar. It's the same as Zufbar. Yeah. It's that one wall. You can't have. There's no strategic play there to think, okay, well, I'm going to try and attack from the rear, get their weak point when they're not defending as easily, or not defending as well, I should say, and then, you know, try and hit them that side and try and get into the city to the back way. You can't do that anymore. You got one wall where everyone can, you know, defend, have multiple siege towers firing at maximum range and hitting you straight away. I don't know. It doesn't.
For me, big picture, if this lets them improve their AI and gives them some good features to carry forwards into, you know, there's no guarantee the second installment will be the same as this one. No. They could update it from then. If it lets them use this as a good stepping stone, I'm willing to kind of accept it, but it is not ideal.
It's the most drastic change, really, isn't it? To a core part of Total War.
But maybe they're retrying for the AI bit now. Maybe they're retrying to
I mean,
push
if the
AI
is vastly improved and on point to give you a tough siege experience, you know, defending and trying to keep you on those walls, and then falls back to a central position and makes a valiant last stand, then great. I've had an epic siege experience trying to take this castle, and maybe I've even failed because those towers are bloody powerful and can hit me from the start, so I have to engage. I can't sit back. So
that's the other thing. Have we seen a fully upgraded castle defense yet?
Oh, that's you get 4 variants of walls, I think, or 3 variants of walls.
Like what the top tier? I don't think we've seen any with that late game.
But it's just the towers that upgrade.
It's just the towers. There's no city difference. The size of the city would stay exactly the same.
Okay.
So it's like a gauntlet run until you hit the wall. Then you got to get over it, smash it down, break through the gate, and get in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have your breaker units that are at the front, but even the rest of your army, you need to push them forwards and get them past that wall. Otherwise, they're just going to get slaughtered, which I don't necessarily think is the best way to do it. But at the same time, I can see what they're trying to get away from. They want to get away from the whole, we'll just sit here and have onagers in range and wait 10 minutes while we slowly batter down the wall.
There's no bombardment phase anymore. It's straight up assault. You get in there, they get up on the walls, and you clash. And then whoever wins that engagement probably 9 times out of 10 has won the battle. Basically, I would have thought, unless you make a really solid final defense.
I just feel a bit. Is that not like the regional occupation funneling you down a certain way of playing? Maybe you don't want to play like that, but you're forced to say that.
I would say with the regional occupation, it feels kind of funneled towards different bits. But I mean, I would go back to Mal's point about if it works to improve the AI, I'm willing to take kind of the sacrifice in form for the improved function. I mean, what do you think, Rambler?
Bananas.
About
bananas.
Sieges?
Yeah, layouts.
I don't know. I haven't played one. I don't know.
CA, send him a siege.
Please send me stuff. From the footage I've seen, it does look like it could get quite samey.
You did a video, didn't you? As well, maybe saying about that in the video.
Are sieges too linear?
Yeah.
So
what was the answer to that video?
I think I forgot. Memory like a sieve sometimes. Now, I think that it's good that they're trying something new. And I think the point that you've made about they're giving the AI the best chance to perform, whereas even in Attila, they can act pretty derpy. So at least they're going down a route where we should get consistent AI performance in sieges if all goes to plan. So if they've done it because of that decision to try and get the AI to work a bit better, then that's good. It may also come down to like a budgetary thing. They might not have had the budget to do huge, open, vast cities. I'd rather have something smaller and focused than something too big and bustling, a bit like Rome 2's launch.
I kind of feel like sieges are always a little bit shafted, though, in like recent Total War games. It took a while to really shape up. 2. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people love Shogun 2 sieges.
Shogun 2, Shogun 2.
Empire, Napoleon, and Shogun 2 didn't have whole sieges. They didn't have whole cities, whereas at least they brought it back in Rome 2 and Attila. So the scalability, I think, of Rome 2's and Attila's were very good. You had different variants of cities, walled cities, non-walled settlements, and stuff like that. So there was a lot of variants there. So
the thing is, they can always add variants in quite easily later. It's not something that would be a big thing for them to change.
When was it when they had that quite a substantial update to how when they got rid of burning torches? Was that Rome 2 or was that Attila? When they got rid of burning torches,
Attila.
And they made it so you had to hack gates. Yeah, because that was a really substantial. Seems like a minor change. Like, gone are the flaming torches being hurled at gates. They made it so that specific swords and axes were the best at chopping down the gates, even iron gates. Because reasons. Spears and swords not so much. But that was like a really quite small but dynamic change to how sieges worked. Because I think they've said that they've done similar in Warhammer because they always wanted to give the AI, the reason why any unit can place ladders on the walls is because they always want to give the AI an opportunity to get up there. That's in Attila, why they brought in the hacking down the gates rather than torches, was because the AI needed a fallback. Because in Medieval 2, when you ran out of siege equipment or ballista bolts to try and hit the gates, you lost the battle ended. If you were sieging a castle, it stopped. Yeah, my voice went weird. We have some water. But in Attila, they changed that so it had a dedicated way. Like, any unit could hammer at a gate for as long as it wanted, and eventually that gate would be destroyed, and they could get in. So, I mean, you've got, was it the Vargolf in my Siege of Tempelhof? The monstrous creature could smash down the gate and stuff, and I think Crypt Horrors in the Bretonnia siege that I was defending, they did the same thing. They went for the gate, but obviously you've got battering rams, you've got siege towers. So I get it is all about getting troops to the wall so that AI can hopefully give it its best shot. And for me, it's a function over form thing. If the function is good, if it's good AI, great. If it's bad, then it's really lacking because. I mean, unless, as Rambler said, if it's a budgetary thing, they didn't have enough money to expand on sieges. But I don't know.
Does Warrior, have you done something new with your hair?
No.
It's the windswept look.
It looks it looks good. I thought it was like a different style you're trying out. I thought it looked good.
Are you straightness tonight?
Post
do what?
sex hair.
Are you straightness tonight? Quickly to do my hair, yeah.
Have you got enough
Maybe
to
that
put them in
was
the
it.
straighteners?
Ray!
So what?
This guy said we've got enough to put him in straight. It's because he's going to buy his ball spot. I've got a ball spot on my
I've
back.
got
in
no,
there.
it's right. Mine's at the back. I'm like keeping it lush at the front.
Yeah.
I'm just all round.
Whereas Mal, he's got enough for all of us. Let's have
I'll
some of
keep
that.
out of this discussion.
Give me some
Inside the post,
Just
please. Just chop it off.
My plan though is if it goes here, it's overcompensation here. Like I'm going Gandalf.
Yeah.
Full on Gandalf.
I'm seriously like just.
Gandalf.
Chloe, my girlfriend, was saying like the other day, it's like, oh, please don't, like, if you go bald, like, please don't, like, overcompensate. It was like, that is my right. If I lose it here, it's coming out here. The beard
And down
is...
there.
I'll keep that trim. No one to see the Gandalf forest.
So Lion's going to be a cross between Walter White and Gandalf.
Pretty much. That is the dream. Is that not everyone's dream? Walter White and Gandalf.
Yeah, what a
I don't know,
combo.
like, just like Gandalf trying to sell crystal meth.
Yeah, that exceptionally rich magical drug dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadowfax. I can summon horses with a whistle. Can you, Gandalf? How much have you sold today? Would explain a lot about Lord of the Rings, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's just him outside of Tesco on one of those little machines you put the 50p in and you ride the little horse.
Yeah. Shadowfax to Edoras.
Smoking the old pipe weed.
Heart. If I ever finally get enough donations on my Twitch for the Gandalf cosplay, I'm so going to my local Tesco and getting on the podium outside and like there'll be
Kettle's boiling.
yeah.
Or your nearest arcade where they have the horse racing thing.
Yes.
Oh god.
It's so happening. Oh.
I love to do a job where you can commentate on that, a day job. We know you do the commentating for it at Blackpool and things like that. You have
The
yeah,
races.
yeah, the horse racing. And you actually have someone commentate. And here comes number 2. He's pushing forward now from 3. And it's great. It's great.
And the 4-year-old smashed his brother in the face. This is...
Yeah, he's
yeah.
gone.
What? Oh.
Right.
Every
Steering
time.
back to sieges.
Are we? Sieges. I think. He was. You said he was 4. That's like pretty impressive.
Oh no!
Christ. So the next thing we're going to talk about was the fact that we found this out at the preview event, and when Warrior was trying to actually capture some footage, some siege footage actually. There are obviously provincial capitals are the only ones that start off with walls. You can build, I think, a specific building which will give you walls if you upgrade it enough, which are like the non-provincial capitals, so the other cities within your region. However, if you have a battle there, it is just an open field battle. There is no representation whatsoever of a tiny little village being shown in the background. From what we saw, anyway, from Warriors Battle when we were capturing footage and from the Vampire Counts kind of preview event that they had. It just, to me, it makes no sense. Why would my garrison that's meant to be holding this town sally out to this open field battle?
I mean, just to slight covering statement, it's not released yet. We don't know, but it does seem to be that is intentional.
But why?
Yeah, I can't.
Where's my village? I want to force them down, like, little choke points or stuff. Like, I mean, again, Attila had I thought, really good system with unwalled settlements. You had all those winding paths, you had various little choke points, and you had little watchtowers, which obviously created those funnel points. And obviously, as I said, it's not out yet. It's from our limited hands-on time that we've had at various preview events and capture events that we've seen this. But yeah, I mean, it just makes no sense why my army. I mean, unless every bloody army, even orcs and what have you, are so honourable that we will ride out and meet them on the field and fight to defend our village. Or maybe it's a case of I don't want to destroy that village because I'm an orc. So
but afterwards you raise it after you won the
you
battle.
probably would. You'd go back there and sack it after.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's your afternoon entertainment, but you know, it just kind of feels. It's just little things like that which. If there's enough of those things kind of missing, it just hits the immersion a little bit.
Yeah, it builds up to.
Otherwise, there's no middle ground, is there? Because all you have then are open field battles and sieges.
And big siege battles.
I mean, as a side thing, you could have had it so that instead of being in the village, they're in like a sort of a a temporary military stockade thing, because you wouldn't expect to be housing them all in the village if you've got, a 10,000 man army. You don't expect them to walk into poor farmers' houses and sleep. They'd set up out in a field or whatever. But even that hasn't been done. It's just an open field.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me concerned about if there's a fortified stance of some kind, is there not going to be any representation of that? Because those are quite big things in Attila and Rome too. You fortify, because if you were really screwed and you were caught behind enemy lines and you were like, crap, I can't get out, there is no way I can escape, you would fortify, because that at least created funnel points where you could try and hold the enemy off in a fort of some kind. And I haven't at any preview event had a chance to try that out, so I don't know what that's like. He has tea delivered to him. Can I tea, please?
She's gone now.
No, it doesn't happen here.
No.
What's that about?
No.
I don't even have like an empty mug that I can pretend just got handed to me and be like,
Does anyone remember if there is a fortified stance? I don't remember seeing it.
There is a protective stance, is it, or something like that? I can't remember.
If that gets you a protective fortress, I'll say it's not going to be a fortress, but you know what I mean, some kind of structure. Might you be better off not being in the town, but being next to the town in fortified stance?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would have thought. Like, maybe that would be a better way to represent these battles. That if your army is encamped in the town, the battle takes place in the encampment, like your encampment is getting attacked almost, or that's where you're choosing to hold the enemy at your encampment, which is just outside the city limits. Maybe that's a way they could do it, but as I said, unless we can try out and see if they've actually implemented a fortification stance of some kind, and if that's shown anyway, represented anyway on the battlefield, then if that is in, then I would have thought they could copy paste that to every kind of town or something like that. You just use the assets for fortification stance for that specific race and go outside of a town. But if it's not in there, if there's no representation like that, it's just little things like that. I just because then you have a different kind of battle. I feel, because you're defending a specific point and you're creating focal points of where the engagement's going to happen. Yeah,
like Rome 2.
And funnel them in,
example.
And you had barricades that you could deploy and stone traps and spikes and stuff.
There's no middle ground between a land battle and a big siege battle now. So there's nothing to offer anything a little bit different. It's just land or huge siege battle.
I mean, even in a world of fantasy, surely there's going to be trenches made when you're besieging something. You're going to have that kind of element of preparation for a battle sort of thing. So it's just some kind of visual representation to draw me in.
There's nothing, as you say, nothing in the background, is there? It's just land.
Not from my experience or the battle I saw you play. It was just you were in like open kind of swampland.
It's just a normal swamp battle, swamp battle, yeah.
Even if it was just like one side of the map had the edge of the village to give you
I know where I've come
to the
from.
edge.
Yeah. Yes, you can do backdrops. We've seen it on all the capitals. They've got superb backdrops.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a concern that we.
It's a wait and see, I think.
Yeah, a lot of it is like almost like sit on the fence until we can play more, because the initial impression you have may well change. Like, I mean, a lot of people say, like, when are you going to have a review out of the game? Probably not until I've completed my first Let's Plays, which will be in like a couple of months down the line, because I need to get through everything and find out how it all works. You can give initial thoughts and stuff on release, like a week or two after, but like to really get stuck into it and find out if it's good after multiple factions and stuff. And is that too hot, Warrior?
Do you want a straw?
They said that they'd be giving out review copies for reviewers and stuff, so they have more than enough time to.
We're not reviewers.
Well,
they said YouTubers and streamers.
Come on, YouTubers, streamers, and reviewers.
Haven't had them yet.
Give me. No,
we're not having it now.
Checking my inbox. Hang on. Nope, not yet.
Sunday evening.
But yeah,
that hyper dedicated CA person now at 10:30 on a Sunday.
Max, use your code.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit already, kind of in various topics, but I guess, like, briefly, what do we think of magic that's so far been represented in Warhammer? Because it adds that other element. You've got to manage all your troops, melee, missile, and cavalry, artillery, and now magic.
I think it looks pretty cool.
It's great.
Again, I haven't really played it, so can't comment.
I've got some concerns. So the big one is I'll say randomness. So if we compare it to an onager obviously doesn't hit exactly where you aim. Sometimes it will just about miss the unit. But with the magic, especially those vortex spells, you throw it down, it hits the initial unit, and then it goes off in a random direction. We saw in that chaos fight, when the AI did it, it ripped across the front of Darren's lines and totaled 3 whole units pretty much. Yet his own ones barely clipped the side of one enemy unit because of that random direction.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's a lot more randomness than you've had from that kind of effect in, the historical titles.
I thought they were buffing magic up. I think I remember
Dan
telling
powerful. Me. Do you think with those vortex spells that maybe then you'd still have a miscast rate which could make it veer off? But do you think actually with those vortex spells then you should have it so that you click on where you want it to start and you draw a path of where it should go? Do you think that's maybe something that should be introduced or not? And then it has a kind of a pretty high chance of veering off.
Yeah, I mean you could even do it so you're just giving it like a I don't know, 180-degree arc or something. So it's
area of effect, sort of.
Yeah, but
it's like a cone to go out in.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just going to be there's a lot more randomness to this potentially highly devastating thing than we've seen from any equivalent unit before.
Which is what it is in the tabletop, isn't it? The dice, essentially the dice roll of saying, well, it's going to be a misfire, it's going to be a
and then the ones that stay around and move do actually move randomly.
I've got some dice here. Hang on, we're going to work it out if it's going to work or not. What are you casting?
I'll go with Comet of Cassandra.
Okay, let's say you need 12. You need 12 or more for it to hit. I'm going to make this up as I go. 12 or more.
How many dice do you have?
This is from Magic the Gathering stuff.
Oh,
is it not from the one we played at EGX? What was that?
That was
Coup.
Likes a bit of Coup.
Oh,
you got 22, Mal. You got 22. So you've absolutely wrecked Warriors frontline with Comet of Cassandra.
Okay, well let me roll my dice then. And that'd be Curse of the Bad Moon.
Curse of the Bad Moon. For that you need it's slightly less powerful. You need 18 for that.
Okay, go for it.
Oh no, you need 12 for that, wasn't it? You need 10. I should have put this higher. I've got like 40 potential. 10.
Go on.
You have got yourself 19. So yeah, you've cursed a bad moon. It's gone through Mal's ranks. Rambler, do you want to have a roll?
Flying elephant.
You need 27.
Flying elephant.
You got you got 15.
Alex casts Dumbo.
That's gonna pump.
Is it like a foot of Gork that's gone wrong?
Give me Dumbo.
I'll roll again.
What else can I think? There was something else that came up with the magic. It was something you experienced, Lone, where you ran out of winds of magic on your damsel, and she's just kind of stood there like.
It was so close.
What do I do?
At the end though, like that Bretonnia battle, I was trying to get chain lightning. I had enough for Thunderbolt. I'd already used my arcane conduit because I think in that battle I was getting one point of magic every 40 seconds. If you hit arcane conduit, you get 1 point of magic every 9 seconds. So
it boosted
it went to 9 seconds. So that was really fast. And I was desperately waiting, and it stopped building up because the chain lightning was the one I threw on all the zombies at the gate earlier on in that battle. And there were 5 units all around Luan Lianka, and I was like, if I can get chain lightning off, fantastic, I can probably break them. But I didn't have enough. I probably should have just thunderbolted down. But yeah, I mean that is something you've got to, if you've got magic or spellcasters in your army, that is the winds of magic. You've constantly got to keep an eye of and work out when's the best time. And I chose poorly to cast so many thunderbolts. I should have waited for the chain lightning more, because the vortex spells I personally I quite like them because they can go through multiple units and do a lot of damage. And I mean, chain lightning looked freaking awesome. Like the effects of that, the magic effects so far look bloody awesome.
Superb. That purple, is it the Zion of Purple Sun? How it sucks up the units and starts vortexing them.
Yeah, it spins around. You see them flying out and everything. Yeah.
Christ, yeah.
But I mean, I think it'll give you some interesting choices. Like the vampire one was the one that struck me most. You can either take Manfred as sort of a melee bruiser or a spellcaster. If you take him as a spellcaster, he sort of uses up all his spells, and it's a bit like, well, I'll stand around for a bit, and yeah. Whereas if you took him as the bruiser mostly, but I just sort of put a few spells in with it, he's still highly effective even after you exhaust your winds of magic.
Well, it's interesting because you can counter that with a hero unit as well, because you've got different heroes, and different heroes will give you different. From what I saw on the preview build, you get like different heroes that give you different types of abilities as well, like spellcasters and things.
Well, I had the paladin in that Bretonnia. My paladin was my melee specialist, and the damsel, because she'd been set up to be a magic cast, so she was really weak in melee attack, but insane power with the magic, and I mean, Lou and Lienka, I just got to mention again that insane kill animation on the Crypt Horror, like leaping forward and like stabbing it in the back and like knocking it down to the floor.
That's awesome.
If we can see more of those, that'd be like freaking awesome. That was badass.
But it's funny actually say, because you say you not only got to worry about what magic you use and the right time to cast it, but the winds of magic as well. You know, the fact that you have got, that's a little mini game in itself in a way,
and that changes as well. That fluctuates.
Yeah, and you can gamble on it as well. I remember when I saw it, you can gamble on it and things. So it's things like that. You got to really play it into your hands, or it could go completely wrong. And of course, where you fight on the map depends on how much magic you get as well initially, and the recharge rate that you'll get. So it's all that sort of stuff.
We saw the orc hero, the shaman was doing the whole hula dance thing on the map. And that was, that was getting winds of magic for you and taking them away from the enemy, wasn't it? So all sorts of things like that come into play.
He was was channeling it, wasn't it? Yeah, channeling styles or something.
Yeah. So I spells, to look at them, they're nice and big and powerful and do lots of damage, but it's pretty high risk because you may not even be able to cast them more than once or twice a battle, and then you've got this really weak, squishy caster stood there like, it's pretty day to day. Oh, that guy's got an axe in my face.
And especially if it's like a battle wizard or something, or a bright wizard or something, because that takes up a slot in your 20 stack army. You know, you could have had a couple, 100 great swords or something like that in his place, or you could have him. And does that pay off? You've got to do a lot of damage with him to make him worth it. And I guess early on, you're going to have to use him, right at those waiting for the rear charge moments to hit them hard, and then throw the magic on top to break them to make him worth it. Otherwise, you've brought along a slot that could have been used for 100 more men or something like that.
I think as well, talking about individual units, I think that's going to be a lot of what Warhammer is. In fact, these units are very powerful units. The beasts, the monsters, the heroes, the legendary lords. Those units are going to be the focus attention on battles, where you have to take them down, concentrate on them, because they can do so much damage and survive for so long in a battle. I think a lot of the gameplay aspect of battles now will be to concentrate on taking those and trying to see how you can sort of damage them as quickly as possible via magic, via melee, whatever. And that's going to be a different gameplay aspect a lot.
I forgot about the Terrorgeist. Whoops.
Oh, the Terrorgeist. Exactly. I mean, that was combined with your hex spells as well that you cast on you. But again,
Terrorgeist,
it's that combo, special unit with your magic use. Yeah. It's things like that we've never seen before.
And knowing which units are best versus which units have the anti-large stats and stuff, and what have you. My Pegasus Knights in that Bretonnia battle would have been good to use later on against it or something like that, but they were caught. They were static.
Anti-large, aren't they?
I don't know, but I've seen people in the comments saying, "Oh, you should have used them differently." I should have used them. They were sat there being attacked by Fellbats rather, and then the Terrorgeist came in, the Hex, and just that combined slaughtered them. So I mean, that's the power of magic and a monstrous single enter unit all in one. That is like the worst case scenario, them falling out of the sky like dead pigeons.
That Hex spell, that raises another really good point of what they've done with the magic system. Like the Vortex spells, they're obvious huge damage, but the sort of the buff and the debuff type effects they've got going on can cause huge amounts of damage if they're used right.
Yeah, well, I think it was like minus 15 armor that it gave to my Pegasus Knight, so that's why they literally just dropped. The Terrorgeist, it made a lot of people saying it seems really OP, and maybe it does need a bit of stat tweaking, but it wasn't actually as OP as it seemed in that instance, because the Hex was already on my Pegasus Knights, the Fellbats were keeping them engaged, and the Terrorgeist just came in and went munch, 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 they're dead. The armor is wrecked on them, and this guy's just,
I think it will add a lot of flexibility to the way people fight and allow you to change your tactics on the fly because you've got this sort of selection of spell choices that are right for different situations. I think it's the way I've been sort of seeing it was it's extremely mobile artillery, but it's very flexible artillery, and what it can achieve is kind of the best way that I could sum up magic users.
Multiplayer will be very interesting in Warhammer.
Yeah, it was
Very
going to be
interesting.
like I can just see like the clan rules now, like
God,
1v1 no combat of
Max
Cassandora or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, Max 1 Terrorgeist and all that.
No law of death, no vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be crazy. Right. I guess over to the brief kind of Reddit topic that I spotted the other night, which seemed to be like flaring up quite a bit, which is about this extra DRM, which I should say CA hasn't commented on this or released an official statement about it really, because they're away at PAX, but a couple of CA members have chipped in. I think
I think Rambler wants to chip in. Rambler.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Ah, fair.
What do you call it?
Mitch?
What's his face?
Mitch?
The guy who did the
Sam?
Great War.
Mitch.
No.
Mitch.
Yeah, he replied saying, I don't know where people are getting this from.
Yeah.
It won't like stop people.
And Grace
modding.
was having a go, wasn't she? Grace was
like, my face when...
Yeah, because they're all away. But expect a statement. There may well be a statement out by the time this goes out. But basically, Denuvo is kind of DRM on top of Steam to encrypt and better protect the .exe files and all of that of the game, so that it can't be tweaked or changed, and to potentially reduce people pirating or torrenting the game. What a lot of people seemingly were commenting about on Reddit was that they were worried that would reduce any modding capabilities on Warhammer, and a lot of people already feel that Warhammer's going to have very little modding capabilities. It won't have mod support, which, we've discussed before. For us, sort of said it means no Steam Workshop or no kind of API from CA, but there's been mods made without all of that stuff by the community before, and I'm sure there will be for Warhammer. But yeah, as Rambler said, Mitch commented saying that that people have got the wrong idea here. That won't stop people modding Warhammer with this extra layer of protection, basically. So I guess whether or not you think more DRM is a good thing or not, that's the system they're going with. It's Steam, and it's this on top of it. It's still Steam. I mean, I was talking to some friends the other day and remembering how much I actually hated the idea when I first had to buy a game on Steam that required Steam, like back 2007. I think I was like, Steam's never gonna take off. No, never. Couple of years later, oh my god, I hated Googling for patches and finding weird torrent sites to download this patch and then install it on my game if it wasn't on the official website. And now I freaking love Steam and the auto updates and all that. It's a very easy catalogue of your games.
It's great for early
accessible.
access, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically there might be a statement out already. If it is, we'll link it down in the description.
Yeah.
But
Gracie's changed her hair.
But if we forget to put it in the description, don't have a go at us.
Well, if we have forgotten about it, let us know and we'll put it in there.
You didn't put the topic on about Grace changing her hair colour.
I didn't even know she changed her hair colour. Sorry,
News
just in.
Yeah.
Grace is the social media manager, right?
She is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
She changed her hair. What colour from and to?
Like a gingery colour.
Ah.
Warrior, not earning stalker points here at all.
Twitter. She went on Twitter.
I have something I'd like to add to the schedule.
Yes.
The first public build of Medieval Kingdoms has been announced.
Ah, yes.
It's actually been announced now.
Yeah. So that's the medieval mod for Total War Attila. There was a Reddit post today by Warman, who's one of the leads on the mod. So there's going to be a first public build of the mod, which comes out on May 5th, 2016. So you can stop asking me in the comments on all my videos, when's it coming out now, despite me telling you to stop doing that.
Okay, next question. When's Rise of Mordor coming out?
Fuck off. So there's going to be, in the mod, let me just give you a quick breakdown. There's going to be 22 factions. I won't go through them all. But there's 500 units complete with custom stats and manuscript-inspired unit cards. There won't be a campaign in this build. It's just going to be for custom battles and multiplayer. They're updating the build from what we've got right now. So it's going to be a revamped Cuman and Bulgarian roster, additions of Sweden and the Latins, as well as further bug fixes. You won't need any DLC to play with Medieval Kingdom, so you just need the base Total War to the game. I could go through the factions, but...
Enough stalling! When are you going to release it?
May 5th.
May 5th.
Yeah.
So
there'll be all the...
Enough to tide you over to a Warhammer.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be a nice little medieval little addition to your... Yeah.
Should we have a medieval banquet? Just to celebrate it? Should we rent out a studio or something? Rent it out.
Are you paying?
Can you fly me over?
Yeah. We'll have a medieval banquet. Warman, sort it out, buddy.
Just like your we're gonna sort it all out and then send him the bill. Is that the?
Yeah. Give us a banquet.
Fly me first class to the UK. That'd be great.
Yeah.
He could just mail it to you, and if you get maggots, well, that's just extra protein.
Or just like a
I'll be the
bag of like leftovers, like a half ham hock and a chicken wing. Tasty.
Ham hock. Oh, and yes, while on the subject of medieval-esque fantasy,
ham hocks.
Game of Thrones tomorrow night. Happened last night, day before.
Happened on Monday. No spoilers.
I don't have HBO here, so I'm probably gonna have to stay into work and wait until my director leaves and use the TV that we have in her office to do some QA stuff and just watch it on their video on demand stuff there.
Well,
I work for a telecommunication.
You could just use one of the thousands of sites which will have a slightly grey area uploaded version. Some of them are good.
It might be good quality. Well, yeah.
Probably shouldn't admit on the internet that you're doing things like that either.
I'm just saying the site's out there. Great.
Because I work for essentially I work for a company that's like BT or Virgin Media.
But not
for Canada.
For the UK people. Yeah, Tellus. It's called Tellus. And
Tell us what? Is that a good one around the office or not? No. Oh.
No one's ever joked that before.
You should try it.
It's Canada, Lion. They don't joke.
Oh.
Yes, they do, but they apologise afterwards.
God, I'm showing my age here. So someone said to in the Reddit post, "You're not Warman from Rome 1, are you?" I was 8 when Rome 1 came out. I was 18 when Rome 1 came out.
Hands up, who had the original Shogun at launch?
Medieval 1.
Rome.
I had Medieval 1.
When I was 15.
One thing.
Wait, how old are you, James?
Who?
You.
Warrior. Yeah, hello. I am 32.
Yeah, but I was 15 when it first came out.
What? When what? Medieval 1 came out?
When Rome 1 came out in 2004.
2004.
I was 15.
I was 14.
I was 20 then. I was 20, sorry, yeah. 20. 20, I thought I was 18. 20. Sure. I'm actually older than that. Great.
Yeah.
I think was there anything else on the schedule that I missed?
Well, we were gonna just briefly just talk what people's launch day plans are. People taking the day off.
I'm playing Medieval Kingdoms.
You play Medieval Kingdoms on launch day for Warhammer.
Warhammer, yeah. Forget it. Medieval Kingdoms 12/12.
Cool.
Boom. Cool. Stream that.
I probably will. Well, I guess it depends if we get a build early or not that we can actually record and release with. If not, then I'll just have to record manically.
You got the day off or
during the day? I'll probably book it off. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't get paid holiday though. I don't get paid holiday, so if I don't work, I don't get any money.
But you could earn some money on YouTube.
Yeah. So I'll probably take a day or two off. What day does it come out on? Is it
24th of May? Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, yeah.
Oh, I should probably know that.
Probably should. What time do you reckon it's going to come out? It's going to release, do you reckon? Do you reckon it's going to be a midnight release or 8 o'clock in the morning? Or?
It was always 8 in the morning before.
So that's midnight my time on Monday.
Sleep the next
fucking hell.
If it's 8 in the morning, that's really nice because it means that we can all sleep and then we can just wake up and get on it straight off.
Rambler getting to work on the Monday night.
Dude, you made the choice to move to Canada, bro. You should fly back to England just for the launch.
Just for the launch.
And then you can finally get our was it Hannibal at the Gate save game campaign off your computer back home.
Is it Hannibal at the Gates?
Was it Hannibal at the Gates? Is that the one?
No, it's a Total War Attila one.
Oh no, Justinian. Lost Roman. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still
Just
there
name all the
somewhere.
DLCs. You'll get it sometime.
Yeah, it's one of them.
But I've given my computer essentially to my parents, so I have no guarantee that it's still there.
Just full of obscene things.
Well, no, they're probably just looking at bungalows on it.
Obscene. So obscene. Oh, filthy. Absolutely filthy. Oh, that bungalow. But yeah, so I think it's safe to say we'll all be like either recording videos, live streaming, doing something on launch for Warhammer.
Not a chance.
Probably make room for a wank or something as well. It's probably going to be a pretty stressful day.
Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
No, channel of the month before we go, which is
Total Warzone.
Total Warzone.
Which Warrior Sparta, you nominated him today, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Talk about it.
Great. I mean, he's what Total Warzone is. He's great for. He started off as a Twitter account, literally. That's all he was on Twitter, Total Warzone, and then he branched out to YouTube. Obviously, I think the name helps, and it Total Warzone. It's sort of it sounds quite official in that sort of way. So he's got a great following on Twitter, and then he's branched out, as I say, into YouTube. He's built a quite nice sub base on there as well. He does very informative, well put together videos of various topics on the latest Total War games, like custom maps, top 10 units, just very topical, informative videos about war, the current Total War games. And I'm sure he'll be doing a lot on Warhammer when it comes out as well. As I say, very well constructed, very well designed videos, and just good content, good solid content. I
really like his AI over time videos where he does like a time lapse.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His campaign maps.
Yeah, he'll play as a faction like way away from others or something, and like just turtle up or whatever, and then he literally just screen caps the campaign map at the end of each turn, and then does like 300 turns of the AI and see how it what it does without kind of player interference, which I find really interesting with different mods.
It takes a lot of
and
time.
factions.
It takes loads of time.
Insane amount of time to do that, but I always found them really interesting, and we've met him a couple of times in person. He's an absolutely lovely chap, very friendly.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think he. I'm surprised we didn't do him earlier. I thought we had done him as a channel of the month earlier on, so I'm surprised.
I still have a feeling somewhere we did, but I checked through them and couldn't find a listing. But so if we've already covered him before, well, he's just
he's
just that friendly.
Yeah, he's good, and he sort of what he's done is he's found a little bit of a niche in the Total War community, because Darren, obviously, when he moved to CA and started working there full time, he couldn't put as much time as he used to be able to do on his YouTube channel. So it gave Total Warzone that sort of area where he could concentrate and move into to create those sort of summer videos.
Before,
Darren did, yeah. And it's all worked out well. And yeah, wish him well.
Yeah. So he's down in the description. Go check him out. Tell him the Warcast sent you, and yeah, check out some of those AI over time videos. They're pretty freaking awesome. So I guess Mal, is there any series you want to plug or promote at the moment that you're up to? How many of us have you killed on XCOM 2, by the way? You've killed me.
Yeah, you're dead. I'm dead. I don't think Warrior got in. I'm sure I made a character of him, but it just hasn't appeared, so I don't know what happened to Warrior.
You're safe.
Yeah, you're safe for now.
Good man.
Will Overguard went on a murderous rampage, was my best character, and then
sounds like Will. Sounds like Will.
It's very much like Will. He had some nice stim thing that made him run around like a lunatic a bit faster than everyone else. It was perfect, Will. It even had an epic eye patch. But Total War wise, just sort of finishing up an Empire series, hopefully before Warhammer kicks off.
Yeah. I think that's what we're doing now, wrapping up for when Warhammer comes. It's that sort of lull period, isn't it, at the moment? I remember it before Attila as well. It's sort of...
You get ready for the Warhammer takeover.
May and June, there's Warhammer and there's 2 new Paradox games, so I'm going to...
Oh, yeah, you're loving that, aren't you?
I actually like my Paradox games.
Yeah.
I don't know, just never trust Jackie Fish. Never trust him.
I never trust him until the war either.
Oh, dear. Right, well...
The bastard!
That's it for this one. Again, check out our Facebook and Twitter. See Rambler probably posting some tweets and some comments. I don't know if he's going to do that little thing where he does like -R at the end, so you know it's Rambler.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
Well, if you have like
do
multiple key people looking after a single account, you have like at the
Yeah,
end
I've
they'll
seen it
sign it
before.
basically with their initials, so people know
Dash
it's like
M.
you.
Yeah.
So like if I was to do it, I
Oh.
could put like dash LH, and where I could put like
Dash
WS.
it, WS.
Yeah.
Wankstein. Yeah.
That goes Rambler's new PC. So yeah, our links are all in the description. SoundCloud's completely updated. iTunes is updated. So if you want to listen to the podcast rather than watch it, you can. Check out everybody's channels. Check out Malakith's channel. Cheers for joining us for this month's Warcast. And we'll see you in the next one.
Ciao for now.
Which will probably be after Warhammer's launch.
Well,
Might
well,
be
we need
worth
to do one
it.
in May, don't we? We need to do one in May.
We could do one like just after Warhammer's come out. Like to
Wow,
give
yeah.
our first feedback and like like a week with
No.
Warhammer. What's it been like?
Guys, let's do it. Let's do it on the 24th of May, 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's forget Warhammer. Let's do a Warcast live for the day.
Sort of.
Live stream it.
I'm busy.
We could be playing Warhammer right now, Warcast.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Definitely a week after. The first
Yep.
week of Warhammer.
Sounds good. That's
But
when
I
it's
think
going to
we'll
be,
have a lot
guys.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Lot to talk about.
See you then.
Maybe we should live stream it.
Yeah.
We
Warcast
always say we
live.
do a live stream it.
Yeah, exactly. Warcast live, potentially happening a week after Warhammer comes out.
Yeah. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
What do you guys say when you end your video? Seriously, I need something here.
And until next
Farewell.
time, everyone, I
Farewell.
bid you a very, very
Farewell.
good day.
Good day. And what do you say, Boria?
Until next time, this is Warrior Sparta for now saying farewell.
Malakith?
That's it.
I don't even remember. It's so ingrained. I think it's thanks for watching. See you next time.